Alright, today we are at KO Nagayama. You know, did something happen in Evangelion or something like that? I always feel like whenever I'm in this area, there's a lot of Evangelion stuff. My nerddom is, I'm not recalling it correctly. Maybe there was something specific that happened in Neon Genesis. And we got the peaceful pigeons of peace. Look how peaceful these guys are, dude. Sometimes I've seen an albino pigeon. Oh man, is it fucking raining? Felt a little bit of rain. Hopefully it's not going to rain today. Sometimes I've seen like a purple pidgey, a fucking white pigeon, which then I think that means it's a white dove of peace or some shit. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know shit about birds. But what I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to continue what I was talking about yesterday. I was talking about kind of like, having regrets, and people are like, well, you're in Japan. You know what I mean? Why don't you play more video games if you're a nerd? And I was saying because there's no reminiscing factor of video games really for me, right? You know what I mean? Watch the video. You know what I mean? There's still, we look at the Evangelion here. There's still, sometimes, I see this shit when I'm in Japan and I'm like, man, I kind of miss being a nerd in that way. I kind of want to watch anime again sometimes. I want to start drawing again. But video games wise, I've already proved that I'm the best at a certain aspect of video games. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. The people got to make up stuff about it, right? So what I wanted to talk more about that is from another perspective of, and hopefully it's not going to rain too much or else I'm going to have to pause this shit because I did not bring an umbrella because I thought it was only going to rain yesterday. It does randomly rain in Japan. Anime is real. Randomly you will see a girl get soaked, titties coming out. That is something I have seen in Japan. So when we talk about things like regret and things like, let's say jealousy. Time out, I gotta pause it. Man, I really hope it's not raining that. Alright, so we gotta do this video over again because it did start raining and it came down. So Japan, it randomly rains a lot. So anyway, let's get back to what I was talking about. And I was playing off of that video from, I guess, a few days ago now when I was talking about, and watch the video, I was talking about, reliving our childhood, so to speak, or if you have regrets or reminiscing, feeling nostalgic about something. And how I was saying that, of course, people are like, oh, are you going to play video games when you're in Japan? And I'm like, there's no desire to play video games because that part of my childhood, let's say, or whatever, I've already accomplished what there is to accomplish in video games. There's no regrets about not accomplishing something in video games because I've already easily proven that I'm the best at a certain aspect of video games. I could have left video games like, 5 years ago when Dragon Ball FighterZ came out, and I could have quit, and no one would catch me for an entire generation of all the stuff that I've done in video games, right? So there's no desire to fulfill or to relive a part of my youth, let's say, or feel nostalgic about something when it's like I'm already the best. What need is there to fulfill or relive that? I'm still the fucking best at that aspect of fighting games, what I do. And even competitively, although I'm not a competitive player anymore, I achieved a lot competitively considering the circumstances. So I don't have regrets. But I want to talk about this from another perspective of being jealous of something somebody has or being jealous of something that somebody has done, right? Being jealous of, I guess again, you can be jealous or envious of something that somebody has, or you can be jealous or envious of something that somebody has done, right? And maybe you have regrets because you feel you should have done something in life, right? And again, that's another aspect you could say of, being in Japan, being nerdy is all around you, etc., right? So I can feel envious of, I didn't get to live out that fantasy, let's say, whatever it is, of being in Japan when I was younger and super big nerd. I didn't get to live that part of my dream of being an artist or whatever, you know what I mean? But video game wise, I'm not jealous or envious of anybody, right? And normally I think as long as the person is not, let's say, evil to the core, rotten to the core, we would assume most people are not just outright hateful or evil. right? Maybe something that brings this out is if they are envious of somebody, or if they're jealous of somebody. Again, if they have done something or if they have something. So I have no jealousy or envy to anyone in the video game community, right? Because there's nothing for me to be envious or jealous about, right? You know what I mean? I don't, again, it took me so long to even like talk about that table desk guy, because it was just like, to me, he's not even competition to me. Do you know what I mean? He became famous because he did a one-handed combo, and he's just good enough to make people believe the lie, and he has enough people behind him, right? But I don't feel jealous or envious of him because of what he's done in games, because I don't give a fuck about doing a one-handed combo. My value to the video game community is not doing a one-handed combo. It's not even that interesting to me. You know what I mean? I'm not jealous or envious of any other tech lord, you know what I mean? Or any of these other supposed content creators, right? Because what they've done in video games, there's nothing to be jealous or envious about it, right? Now, I can be jealous or envious about the monetary gain that other people have gotten, the money that other people have gotten. And, you know, there's that kind of saying that, you know, well, you know, so-and-so happens, but $100 will always be $100, you know, except for inflation, right? But, you know, it's the moral of the story. Or, you know, oh, we had a hard day at work, but, you know, lifting 50 pounds will always be 50 pounds, or lifting weights will always be the same weight, right? You know, whatever those kind of cliche sayings are getting, right? So again, I can be envious or jealous, you know what I mean, about monetary gain or something that someone has achieved in that aspect, but I'm not jealous or envious of anything anyone has ever done in the video game community, right? Because they just don't compare to me. You know what I mean? That's why, I mean, even look at it like this. I always try to, like, if you go back and look, you know what I mean? People are like, oh, post matches of you playing, post matches of you playing. And it's always like, I've posted many matches of me playing. And even if you go back, and you can see this as well, look when I started playing on Fightcade again before I got banned, right? I was posting matches, and I purposely took people's names out because I didn't want to talk shit. I already know, everyone fucking knows, they just pretend that it's not true, that I've beaten a lot of people in video games despite my circumstances, right? And I didn't put those guys' names that I was beating in Fightcade, even though they're top players on Fightcade, right? Because I don't care about the cock measuring contest of that. You know what I mean? And then I only started calling guys out because that one Karnov guy that's considered good, I'm like, bro, I didn't even fucking put your name. And I saw that he was part of a guy's just like hating on me and everything. It's like, bro, I could have easily fucking put your name in this video if I wanted to. But I'm not a little bitch, right? You know what I mean? But if you want to, I can call you out. And that's why I called him out after that. That's just like Guilty Gear guys. I don't give a fuck about calling out all these guys, but eventually they keep talking about me so much that it's like, look, I beat you. Are you happy? I've literally tried to post these matches to save your fucking face, okay? To save your face that you're losing to a guy that doesn't practice and play. Okay? So, again, video game wise, I'm not jealous or envious of anybody. So again, when people think about like, oh, you're in the land of being a nerd, don't you want to like play video games again? Why? What is there for me to achieve in video games when you're already the best? Have I achieved everything there is to achieve in video games competitively? No. But have I achieved, let's say, competitively, given the circumstances, what other people have not achieved? Yes, I have. And I'm satisfied with that. And of course, and like I said, tech-wise, I'm the best. What is there to be? More than the best? I've been the best since I basically fucking started, dude. You know what I mean? Like I said, Dragon Ball FighterZ came out. I could have quit video games for an entire generation that was going to catch me. So there's no desire. It's like, oh, don't you want to play again? Don't you want to prove something? Prove what? I already am the best. So again, there's no so, you know, you think about the people that hate on me, let's say, right? Obviously, again, we're talking about hating someone or being jealous or envious of someone for something that they have achieved versus they have, right? people are jealous not of what I have, you know what I mean? Because deep down, if you actually fucking think about it, I don't have much. You know what I mean? They have to like fucking basically make up stories, right? The evil Clayton about things that I have. I've heard people actually try to say I'm rich. Unfucking believable. I'm rich. That's why I had to play on duct tape controllers. Sure, you fucking idiot. Right? Let's sit down right here, right? You know, people are jealous of the things that I have achieved. And, you know, we could even use examples of, like, say, Maximilian, right? How incredible was it that Max, God, I should have saved that video. Does anyone else have that video saved? Where Max, the same guy that was following me on Twitter and YouTube, the same guy that had been linking to my videos, there's that stream where he didn't want to admit that he knows me. Even though this guy's probably making millions of dollars off of video games, he didn't want to admit that he knows me, even though he had been following me and he had linked to my videos. And then finally he saw his chat, liked me, and he agreed that he knew me and that I had done all this stuff in video games. Isn't that crazy to show you how insecure that people can be about someone that has achieved something that you haven't, right? Me, who, you're not jealous of me literally for something that I have, because, you know, anyone that actually looks at how I live and everything like that, I live very simply. Is anyone actually jealous that I live my life in and out of a hospital? People got to make up that it's actually, that it's like not true or something like that. You know what I mean? Oh, that can't be true. That actually can't be true. It's got to be fake. You know what I mean? Because no one is actually jealous of that. They have to pretend that it's not real to save face. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, we got to make up an excuse, you know, that, you know, a coping mechanism, right? I've seen people even trust like, oh, we could have predicted Street Fighter 6. You know what I mean? It's just that, oh, you know, we just didn't want to, you know, everyone knew what Clayton was saying was going to be true too. We just didn't want to post it. Okay. Yeah, right. I've been doing this for how long, you know? You know, another example, say people, I've seen people, I can't believe some people try to say that I take steroids now. Can you imagine that people think that me, 5'11" out of bed, 175 pounds, you think that I take steroids? Are you really that jealous and insecure about what I have achieved that I am 5'11" out of bed, 175 pounds? Do you think that's steroids? And I want to talk about, think about what I have had to sacrifice to do that. Because if you actually take the perspective of, look at my body, look what I've done, but I have dedicated my entire life to being the most healthy person I can be ever since all that dying stuff happened. It took me a year before I could even, you know, start working out again. I was collapsing for 6 months straight after that happened. It took me a year before I could even work out again. And then once I was able to work out again, I'm like, I'm going to make me being the most healthy I can be the most important part of my life, right? 5'11" out of bed, 175 pounds, dedicating your entire life only to fucking fitness. Now, if you think about it from that perspective, would you be jealous of the way that I look? It's literally only impressive because I'm sick. That's not crazy considering what I have dedicated my entire life for all these years. And I've been the same pretty much, you know what I mean, for how many, 6 or 7 years, whatever it is. If anything, I've lost a few pounds just because as the years have gone on, you know, my health is not getting any better, you know. Think about the things that I've had to sacrifice, so to speak, for the sake of video games, so to speak, right? Now there's no doubt that I am, you know, a smart motherfucker in terms of certain things. I'm a fucking retard in other fucking aspects of life, but I'm smart in some areas. I can see the pieces of a puzzle that other people can't see. You know, I use the one phrase that, you know, talent hits the mark that no one else could hit, but talent hits the target that no one else could hit, but a genius will hit the target that nobody else could even see. You know what I mean? Like, I can see things that other people can't see, but to do that, I have had to look for it. And some people don't want to admit that they haven't actually sacrificed their time to look for things. And I will use Dragon Ball FighterZ again as an example. Dragon Ball FighterZ, no one has ever done what I've done for a fucking video game, fighting game wise, like that game. Pretty much the entire fucking game, foundational wise to simple to complicated, is from me. But to do that, I said, if you want to think about this as a sacrifice, I had to watch people play that weren't fun. It was not, quotation marks, fun to watch a bunch of scrubs play. You know what I mean? Quotation marks. But like I said, when a game is brand new, anything is of value, even the quotation mark scrubs. You know, just watching a quotation marks good person play, you're not going to learn anything when a game is brand new. And so when I actually dedicated some time to watching just random scrubs mash on buttons, then I was able to see the properties of the moves. I was able to see the pieces of the puzzle. Because I had no ego, I was like, I'm going to watch people that are quotation marks not good play, because even though it's not fun, it's necessary for the endeavor, so to speak. Did you want to sacrifice that, or did you only want to watch Tatsu and Nakil, who were considered the best? Well, all they did was ABC special, and they were considered the best at the game, you know, for the first 6 months of the game. Yeah, when I watched them play, I was like, I'm not gonna be able to dissect this game anymore if I keep watching them, because they're not doing shit after a few matches. Yeah, they're winning, but you're not gonna learn about the game from them. So, you know, you got to set your ego aside of just watching quotation marks the good people at the game and watch the scrubs play. Did you want to sacrifice that? So you could also say, from a certain perspective, what have you done to deserve to be good at video games besides me, right? Obviously, yes, I'm more talented than a lot of other people. Raw skill wise, I have a lot of raw skill, but I don't have the, you know, killer instinct, you know, so to speak, especially for, you know, competitive aspect of games. And like I said, fighting games, the competitive aspect is probably why there's so much hate in it, because fighting games are one of the only video games that is actually legitimately competitive. You're versus somebody else. It's you versus them. Your value to the game is determined by who you're versing. And if you can, you know, other people watch, oh, if people think I beat him, maybe they think I'm good. What? This is my value in the game, right? So again, what I'm getting at, for me personally though, there's no jealousy, or there is no envy, there's no nostalgia, there's no reminiscent factor to be like, man, this is my chance, boom, 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 boom. I'm back in Japan, I'm going to prove that I'm amazing at video games, I'm going to do all this shit, I'm going to relive my childhood. And it's like, for what? What are you talking about? I'm already the fucking best. I'm already the fucking best. What are you talking about? Again, can I be jealous or envious that so many of my haters have, you know, even profited off of what I've done, have lied about me? You know what I mean? Sure, I can be envious and jealous of, you know, someone making more money than me. But have I ever felt jealous or envious of what someone else has, like, done in a video game compared to me? No. Why would I? Look at some of the people that look at me, they look like fucking slobs. They look fucking terrible. They're not good. You know, especially when you consider like how often they play the game. You've dedicated your entire life to a game, and what have you accomplished? You're part of a circle jerk that is like put you on a pedestal despite no accomplishments. You know what I mean? I mean, look at that fucking Obama thing. That Obama thing was crazy. Unless you play video games with me, I won't hang out with you. Oh, yeah, I'm not in Japan to play video games, you fucking idiot. You know, that's why some people, you know, it's, you know, more power to you. If you're... And it fucking shut off again. Sorry. You know, what I was saying is, if your dream is to be in Japan and play video games all day, I'm not going to hate on your dream, but I'm not going to be part of the dream. That doesn't interest me. You know, so again, what I was trying to talk about is, you know, I can be, you know, again, I do, in Japan, there is a vibe of a feeling of, man, I kind of feel nostalgia for wanting to be a nerd. I feel envious that I was not able to finish school. I feel envious that I was, you know, I was not able to come to Japan when I was a kid. There's so many things that I feel envious about. But video games, I've just never felt that envious or jealousy of anybody. And again, I guess it's maybe because I never knew that I was good at video games again. It's just like, oh shit, I'm good at games? That's kind of cool. And then I saw the community, I'm like, oh, Jesus, fuck. I don't know if I want to be a part of this community, right? Anyway, this video, hopefully you get what I'm getting at. You know, again, I don't think that, when I think about when you're mad at someone or you hate someone or you're angry, that comes from a feeling of jealousy or envy a lot of times, right? And that's why, you know, you'll see people say, oh, Clayton is seething or blah, blah, blah. Like, has anyone ever watched my videos? Do I sound like I'm seething or anything like that? Like, I'm not jealous or envious of you guys. Like, you guys are the ones that go around lying about people because you're envious of other people's accomplishments. Me, I'm not jealous of you. If you want to go and post on forums, on wherever, you know what I mean, about the evil Clayton all the time, I mean, you can say, yeah, Clayton is jealous that I have more money than him or something like that. Okay. Am I jealous of you in a video game? What? No. Anyway. Oh, I'm going to do a few dips before I go home. Gotta keep this dad bod going, you know what I mean? Or if you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, support the channel if you can. I appreciate it. Thanks. The end.